Hello dear friends, and welcome to the Health Revival. I'm so glad you're here, truly, joining me on this journey to rediscover the joys of living well, especially in these golden years of life. If you're new to our channel, the Health Revival is a place where we share heartfelt stories, practical wisdom, and gentle, timeless advice for those of us walking this beautiful chapter of life, over 60. This is a space for reflection, for learning from life's long journey, and for embracing a healthier, more peaceful way of living. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or winding down in the evening light, I hope you'll feel right at home here. As we gently ease into today's story, there's something special about this stage of life. After decades of hustle and heartache, of raising families, chasing dreams, and weathering many storms, we've earned the right to slow down, to savor the quiet, to choose carefully what and who we give our energy to. But with that comes a responsibility, a quiet one, to protect our health, our peace, and our dignity. Today I want to share a story, or rather, a few small stories, about the choices we make in our later years. Choices that might seem simple, but make a world of difference. We're going to talk about 3 types of ceremonies you might want to skip, and 3 types of meals you're better off avoiding. Now don't worry, I won't preach, but I will share some gentle truths, tucked inside stories. Some are mine, some are from friends, from the heart. So, go ahead, find a cozy seat, wrap that shawl around your shoulders, and maybe pour a warm cup of tea. Let's begin. You know, as we grow older, we begin to see things through a different lens. Back in the day, we might have said yes to every invitation, every wedding, every birthday, every reunion, thinking it was the right thing to do. But now we realize not every event deserves our time, our energy, or our presence. Let me tell you a little story about that. I was about 67 at the time, newly retired, enjoying the slower rhythm of life. One quiet afternoon, my phone rang, and when I looked at the screen, a name popped up that took me straight back to high school. Tom. Now Tom and I, we were thick as thieves back then, sharing dreams over burgers at the corner diner, skipping study hall to catch a movie. It had been almost 40 years since we'd last spoken, so hearing his voice again, well, it was like stepping into a warm memory. "Hey old friend," he said. "Long time no talk. My daughter's getting married. I'd love for you to come." And just like that, I was transported. I imagined us laughing over old memories, catching up like no time had passed. Of course I said yes. I pulled out my best suit, wrote a generous check, because, you know, that's what you do for an old friend's child, and drove 3 hours to the venue. And let me tell you, the wedding was beautiful. Twinkling lights, a live band, the works. But when I arrived, Tom barely had a moment for me. "Great to see you," he said, gave me a quick pat on the back, and disappeared into the crowd. I found myself seated at a table full of strangers, smiling, nodding, pretending to feel part of the celebration. But deep down I knew I was just another name on the guest list, another envelope on the gift table. As the night went on, that warm feeling I'd had, it faded. And by the time I was driving home, suit jacket on the passenger seat and tie loosened, I realized something. Not every old connection is meant to be rekindled. Sometimes, people remember you not for the friendship, but for what you can bring to their big day. And in our golden years, friends, our time and energy are precious. Let's save them for those who truly value them. A few years after that wedding, another invitation showed up. This time, it was for my 50th high school reunion. Can you believe it? 50 years. The email was fancy, glossy even. "Join us for an unforgettable evening of memories and reconnection," it said. And I'll admit, I hesitated. But then I thought, why not? Could be nice to see who's still around. Catch up, share a few laughs, maybe talk about the good old days. So I went. The banquet hall was decked out, all polished and bright. And there they were, faces I hadn't seen in half a century. Some grayer, some slower, some harder to recognize. But still, there was something comforting in seeing them again. First it was pleasant. We smiled, we hugged, we chuckled over ancient pranks and awkward prom photos. But then, something shifted. Conversations turned from memories to resumes. One guy talked about his son's promotion on Wall Street. Another showed off his beach house on his phone, full screen, wide angle. Everyone seemed to be measuring something, success, status, even waistlines. I tried to tell a funny story about my grandkids, but they barely looked up. It wasn't about connection anymore. It was competition. Worse yet, the evening wasn't cheap. The ticket, the gas, a class donation. It all added up faster than I'd planned. And on the drive home, alone on that dark highway, I asked myself, why did I go? The truth is, those people, they weren't my friends anymore. We'd grown in different directions. And that's okay. But chasing the past, hoping to feel something that's long gone, well, it cost me more than a few dollars. Cost me a bit of peace. Since then, I've made a quiet promise to myself. I'll save my time for the people who call just to say hello. The ones who still laugh at my corny jokes. The ones who show up. No invitations needed. There was a time I thought some parties were just too beautiful to pass up. The lights, the laughter, the music floating through the night air. They made you feel like maybe you still had a little sparkle left. That was how it felt at first with my neighbor Susan. She was known for her parties. Oh, she threw them for everything. Her birthday, her mother's birthday, her dog's gotcha day. You name it, Susan had a reason to celebrate it. And I'll be honest, her invitations were warm. Always handwritten, always full of exclamation marks. You must come, she'd write. It won't be the same without you. One day she invited me to her mother's 80th birthday. A big one. And I thought, why not? I put on my best clothes, bought a nice gift, and walked over feeling honored in a way. The place was glowing. Catered food, string quartet, even valet parking. It was like stepping into a scene from a movie. But as the evening went on, something didn't sit right. Susan was everywhere. Laughing, posing for photos, clinking glasses. But barely looked my way. When I tried to say a few kind words to her mom, she whisked her away. Later, she said with a smile, already turning toward someone else. And then I heard it. Whispers about the gift table. How much did you give? She said it's going toward her next event. It hit me. This wasn't a celebration. It was a production. The guests were props. The gifts, contributions. The warmth, conditional. A few months later, another neighbor fell on hard times. We tried to gather some help, but Susan, she declined. Politely. Too busy. That's when it all made sense. Her parties weren't about community. They were about image. And I'd been part of the set dressing. So now, when an invitation comes with too much sparkle and too little sincerity, I pause. I ask myself, will this fill my heart or just empty my wallet? These days, my favorite gatherings? They're simple. Pot of tea. A quiet laugh on the porch. A grandchild's drawing handed to me with sticky fingers. That's the kind of celebration I want more of. Not the kind with centerpieces and photographers, but the kind where your presence matters more than your present. You know, food has always been more than just fuel, hasn't it? It's comfort. It's culture. It's how we celebrate, how we gather, how we show love. But as we grow older, I've come to learn something important. Not every meal is worth the price our body pays afterward. Let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I went to a family wedding. You know the type. Big buffet. Loud music. Kids running under the tables. And the food? Well, the food was everything you dream of. Fried chicken, buttery mashed potatoes, creamy casseroles. And the dessert table? It could tempt a saint. No. My doctor had been warning me for a while. Watch the salt. Watch the fat. But that night I thought, it's just one plate. One night. So I let go. Had seconds. Maybe even thirds. And goodness, it was delicious going down. But the next morning, I woke up dizzy. Sluggish. My blood pressure was through the roof. I ended up at the clinic, sitting under those cold fluorescent lights, getting the look, like a child caught sneaking cookies. That was my wake-up call. Because the truth is, our bodies aren't 30 anymore. They don't bounce back like they used to. That extra helping of fried food, that sweet little dessert, it's not just a treat, it can be a trigger. For arthritis flares, heart palpitations, even a full-blown health scare. So now, I eat simply. Fresh veggies, grilled fish, a little fruit, maybe a square of dark chocolate, if I'm feeling fancy. And when I go to parties, I bring something healthy to share. Not to be the weird one, but to take care of me. As I've learned, no slice of pie is worth missing a week of feeling good. No. Let me tell you about another kind of meal I've learned to skip. The ones where people don't respect your boundaries. I once went to a dinner party, hosted by a man named Frank. Big personality, big laugh, loved to show off. From the moment I sat down, he kept filling my glass. "Come on," he said. "Loosen up. Have some fun." I politely declined, more than once, but he kept pushing. And when I finally said no, really said no, he laughed. Not kindly, not softly, the kind of laugh that makes you feel small. I stayed through the meal, but I didn't enjoy a single bite. Not because of the food, but because of the feeling. You know that feeling? When someone steamrolls your comfort. When your no gets ignored. When your dignity isn't honored. After that night, I made a quiet promise to myself. Never again. Because in this season of life, respect matters more than roast beef. Peace matters more than pastries. And the best meals are shared with people who care more about you than about your plate. And finally, dear friend, there's one more kind of meal I gently say no to. The kind you eat when your body is whispering, "Not today." I remember it clearly. My niece was getting engaged, and the family was throwing a big party. I had a cold. Nothing serious. Just that tired, achy feeling. But I didn't want to miss it. So I wrapped up, took some cold medicine, and went anyway. The night was beautiful. The hugs, the food, the laughter. But by the time I got home, that little cold had turned into something fierce. I spent the next 2 weeks in bed, missing time with my grandkids, time I can never get back. It reminded me of a story I once read, about a Chinese poet named Su Dongpa. In his 60s, worn out from years of hardship, he was invited to a grand banquet. Though his body was weary, he didn't want to disappoint his friend. So he went, drank, stayed up late, and not long after, he passed away. That story stayed with me, because no celebration, no matter how special, is worth risking your health. These days, if I'm not feeling 100%, I stay home, I send my love, and I rest. Because there will be other parties, other dinners, other chances to celebrate, when I can truly enjoy them. You, my friend, it's not about being picky, it's about being wise. Every choice we make now, what we eat, where we go, who we say yes to, it all adds up to the quality of our days. So let's choose meals that nourish, gatherings that warm the heart, and people who make us feel seen, not just seated, because we've earned that. We've earned the right to say, "I'll pass on the party, but I'll say yes to peace." So, dear friend, if any of this felt familiar to you, if you've ever sat through a meal that made your heart race, or smiled through fatigue, when your body begged for rest, or said yes, when every part of you whispered, "Please, not today," know this, you are not alone. And it is never too late to choose differently, to listen to your body like an old friend, to honor your peace, more than anyone else's expectations, to say no with kindness, and yes with clarity, because at this stage of life, the greatest luxury isn't a feast, it's feeling well. It's waking up without pain. It's sitting by the window watching the birds, sipping warm tea, knowing you didn't betray yourself. For one more bite, one more smile, one more show. If this story spoke to you, if it reminded you of your own journey, or someone you love, would you do me a small favor? Click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And maybe, just maybe, share this video with someone who needs a gentle reminder too. Because we're not meant to walk this road alone. And sometimes, the kindest thing we can offer one another is a story, a voice, a moment of me too. Until next time, my friend, take care of your heart, take care of your plate, and most of all, take care of you.